Happy Tuesday. How are you? I hope everybody's doing well. And if not, figure out a way to get there. I guess that's the attitude you got to kind of have right about now. Things are moving at such a fast pace, and you got to just kind of grab on to ride the wave, man. Ride the wave. What's going on? This is the Karen show. I like to officially dubbed it that, but sounds crazy enough. Since that name has become associated with, oh, the Karens. Oh, here's another Karen. Well, just take advantage of it, right? So we'll go with the Karen show. Here we go. We are talking about a couple of things. Sorry, my packages. Ken Paxton, housing affordability, and Tina Peters, Gold Star mother, who was wrongfully incarcerated in Colorado prison because of the Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, that has tried to cover up her crimes, is making the rounds on or not social media necessarily, because she only seems to kind of hide in blue sky. She doesn't post on X anymore because it's not Twitter anymore, owned by and run by Jack. What was his name? Oh my gosh, he's so insignificant. Jack Dorsey. Thankfully, X is now a Elon Musk run and owned platform, and he pretty much just kind of lets you go with the winds as long as you stay within the guidelines. So I appreciate that, because under Jack Dorsey, I was kicked off of Twitter and I lost all my followers who did not know where to find me, and I did not know what to do at that point. So you know how that went. Now, there is this is great news. We'll start with Ken Paxton. That story broke this morning. President Trump made the announcement at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, somewhere thereabouts. And he had a very, very long, that I'm not going to read the whole doggone thing, but we get the gist. He had posted a very long post on his TruthSocial concerning Ken Paxton and his reasons why he chose Ken Paxton over who is a rhino. He posted before this that time had pretty much run out on a Trump endorsement, so he would have to just I don't know. There are some diehard John Cornyn fans, just like there are diehard Thomas Massie fan club, which is really strange. It's similar. The Thomas Massie fan club is similar to the Candace Owens fan club. These are pretty much crazy people after you if you dare to say anything against their favored individual. And usually 9 times 9.5 times out of 10, it always has to do with Israel. It used to be Russia. Now it's Israel. Because, doesn't matter that we, not by choice, certainly, but American taxpayers were forced with arm behind back, uncle, to dump, $500 billion or more into Ukraine reason. And, Israel has received foreign aid from the United States as well. Also know that they were, probably still are, I'll say this about Israel. They are factually the most liberal country in the Middle East. Like, there's no comparison. Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, Turkey, none of these countries are as liberal as Israel. Israel, you can be who you want. You can, you can celebrate whatever religion you want. You can wear, suggestive clothing. You can, they still have concerts that, like they did on the 7th of October 3 years ago, when the murders occurred. A lot of it was at a butterfly festival. I think it was a butterfly festival, something of that sort. But there were a bunch of kids there, and they're free spirit, live and let live, and all these things, like, the 60s flower children type thing. But a lot of the carnage took place at a concert, because that's where a lot of people were gathered. So they to that place and terrorized people at that concert. In addition, doors were kicked in, horrid demonic things were done to people, and these were Israeli people, and it happened. There are videos. Don't even bother trying to tell me it was a stage. That's dumb. To say that is stupid. But I tell you what, I do not see. I do not. Where are all the videos of Ukraine? You notice that's not a topic of conversation really anymore. Nobody talks about that. We don't see any war footage, but I do partying in Kiev at the club. I see them dancing and partying at the club. I do see in Monaco. I think Don Jr. even posted about that, like early this year, about how he's, in Monaco hanging out, and he's like, man, all these Lambos, a Lamborghini Urus. I would love a Lamborghini Urus. That's my dream car. Like, I would love to have that car, what, 800 horsepower or so. I would enjoy that, but I've never seen so many like luxury brand vehicles, hundreds of thousands of dollars for these vehicles, and most of the license plates are Ukrainian. Where the fuck did they get all that money? I thought they were a poor country. I thought they were at war. How is it that even Don Jr. saw a bunch of Ukrainians partying in Monaco? Oh yeah, I'll tell you how. You paid for it. I paid for it. American taxpayers worked their ass off and paid for Ukrainians, and have, a couple, 2-3 weeks, months hanging out in their villas and living the great life on boats and yachts and shit, while you're sitting there struggling, trying to figure out, because you so broke you can't pay attention, but you better pay that tax bill so we can keep sending money to Ukraine. Remember that? So Ken Paxton is a patriot and a hero in Texas. He has been, he was persecuted. There was a concerted effort to remove him from his position as Attorney General. But not only that, they were trying to, they brought up false accusations against him to try to discredit him and drag his name through the dirt. And none of it worked. And now he's turning around, and I think he might be suing all of those involved in persecuting him and dragging his name through the mud. And look where he is now. You need people in positions of power who will actually do shit for you. Believe me, I know. I talk about it often with Diana DeGette in the 1st District in Colorado, who would not help me when I needed her help with my husband's military benefits that were denied because of it, and that administration, because they hate the freaking military. So they waged war against me. I was the one homeless living in my car. I was the one who didn't have shit. Diana DeGette has been in office for 14 terms. 14 terms. And now the old hag is running for another term. Why? Why? Denver is crap. Denver is crap. Is on the street. There's homeless people everywhere. They try to ship them. They've bussed them down to Colorado Springs. And now Colorado Springs, because they have a Muslim African mayor, they got rid of the conservative mayor. Now Colorado Springs is full of homeless people, because that's how that happens when Democrats get in power. They immediately start breaking all the toys, because they know that if they keep things broken and you never fix problems, you keep yourself in a perpetual job. That's why they do what they do. You look at these Democrats and go, why the hell didn't you do? Why are you just laundering money? You just paying, using our taxpayer dollars. You're just letting these individuals out of jail who have murdered 6 people, and you keep letting them out. The judge keeps letting them out, because they're not there to solve problems. They are there to create problems and to exacerbate problems and stretch them out and stretch them out and stretch them out, so you keep voting for them. In that time that you're voting for them, they are telling you, when they campaign, we're blaming Republicans for what's wrong. It's not our fault, because we said we were going to fix the problem. They created the damn problem. They don't know how to fix these problems once they have gotten out of control. This state here, I wish, oh Lord have mercy, I wish we had an attorney general like Ken Paxton. I wish, one could only wish. We got this asshole named Phil Weiser, who wears mom jeans up to his neck, and it looks like another one who looks like a cartoon character, some funny looking weirdo in a cartoon about weirdos. This individual has his office. They let criminals out. They're soft on crime in Denver and throughout Colorado. The violent offenders are the ones who get protected, but innocent people like Tina Peters get put in prison and get the entire full weight of the law upon their head. I'll get to that later on, but I do want to congratulate Ken Paxton, and he's going to win. He's going to win. John Cornyn is done, because people are waking up. People are waking up. It took a lot of years, and it took going through a lot of pain and anguish to realize that there are politicians who are strictly in office to aggrandize themselves, to steal taxpayer money, and to make themselves very wealthy by either insider trading or by making backroom deals that we don't ever know about. To me, I have no idea why a congressperson in little ass Colorado or anywhere, I just use this state as an example because I live here. Why are you going over to Davos or to Bilderberg? I think John Hickenlooper went over to one of these globalist ass events and symposiums. Why? What are you doing over there? Ain't nothing over there. You're going 6,000 miles across the water for what? None of that benefits Colorado. None of it. What are you doing over there? Why are you, oh yeah, using my taxpayer money? These people are shit. They only care about themselves. They are in office to steal. That's it. That's it. And because they have no real business acumen. They're dumb as a bag of hammers. They could not work in the private sector, so they keep creating problems in the public sector to keep themselves with a job. Ken Paxton actually does things that help the people of Texas. I look at him and then I look at this goofball. Look at this shit. Let me show you what we working with here in Colorado. Let me show you this freaking goofball, this cornball that we have here. Hold on. Look at this. Look at this dumbass that we have here in Colorado. Looking like, hold on, I'll find it. I'll find it. He's not from here. I think he's from Pennsylvania somewhere. Now I want images. I want the goofiest looking shit, because they try to post pictures that they think will make him look halfway decent, and it's really not possible. Hold on. Oh, and by the way, he was over in Greeley about a month ago at a protest, a strike that was put on by some union, I guess. I don't know how you have a union and you have a company full of illegal aliens. Yes, the meat packing company, food processing company in Greeley, they built a bunch of brand new housing for all the Somalis, the illegals, built a bunch of housing for them, gave them jobs. And then, now these illegals are starting to demand higher wages, because that's how it works when you let all these dumbass people over here. Here, I'll just deal with this one. Look at this. Hold on. Let me bring this in here so you can see this fucking goofball that we are stuck with. And the son of a bitch is running to be governor of this state. Look at this shit. Disgusting. Disgusting. Lets criminals out of prison. He was over there with the illegals over in Greeley, posted up, calls himself, working with the people, and was out there striking with the illegal aliens. And they pull these Jedi mind tricks on people, and they call them Coloradans. Oh, they're Coloradans. I'm just out here supporting Coloradans. No, you're supporting illegals, because those are the constituents that you want, because they'll blindly vote for your funny looking weird ass. I'm trying to find some. Well, I'll find it for another live, but I'm not focusing on his retarded ass. I'm talking about Ken Paxton and how great he is going to be for the state of Texas. People are sick of rhinos. People are sick of those who promise the sun, moon, and stars and give you nothing but dirt. You're not going to pretend they're moderate, or those who claim to be MAGA at the last minute, when you have not voted on not damn MAGA policy since you've been in office. But all of a sudden, because you need either the Trump endorsement or you need people who consider themselves MAGA to vote for your sorry ass, because you haven't done anything but vote with Democrats. So it's MAGA at the last minute. But Ken Paxton has been consistently a patriot, voting for the best interest of the people of the great state of Texas. I mean, his track record is impeccable, and he's unapologetic about it. Hold on. Uh, um, let me see if anything comes up. Blah, 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 blah. Of course. Let's see. Oh, so Act Blue just sued him recently over what they consider retaliation. When it's not retaliation, Act Blue has been a conduit for the Democrats in funding a lot of the discourse, the negative exchange of ideas, which it's pretty much do what we say or die. But Act Blue has fed multi-millions of dollars to Democrats to drag them across finish lines in sometimes impossible races. Here, this is ABC News back in 2023. Probably not going to stay on there long because I know ABC is a liberal hack. But they posted Texas AG Ken Paxton impeached, what to know about the controversy and what comes next. This was the Texas State House. Remember when they voted to impeach Ken Paxton with allegations of, quote, abuse of public trust. He was impeached on the 27th of May back in 2023, and he had been the first since 1917, so the turn of the 20th century. The proceedings were sparked by claims from former employees, which means they made the shit up. They threw in some disgruntled individuals who didn't do their job. And here they came back and said, you know, we'll give you $15 for you to talk shit about Ken Paxton and make up lies, basically. And yeah, I said $15, but you know, they probably paid him a little hefty sum to make up shit about Ken Paxton. Former employees in Paxton's office that said he was misusing his power to aid a friend and donor. The impeachment also underlines the conflict between Paxton and a number of other Republicans, rhinos, we call them, rhinos, many of whom voted in the state house for impeachment. Yeah. So that was 2023. They impeached him in the Texas State House because these individuals sit on their loser pimply ass and do nothing for the people of the state of Texas, unless, of course, you're a Muslim trying to destroy the state. And then, you know, you got all the support in the world. So Ken Paxton, you know, he was just getting too much of the job done for American citizens who are true Texans. These invaders are not Texans. They're invaders. So Ken Paxton has done a fantastic job. He actually earned it. He earned it. Years of him staying the course, staying steady. He never wavered. He, even when they persecuted him and his own so-called colleagues persecuted and excoriated him because he wasn't doing their bidding, excuse me, and he wouldn't stop working full-time for the people of Texas. They accused him of, oh, you know, he's abusing his power. Ken Paxton is really quiet behind the scenes. He's not like a loud ass Kamala Harris. That bitch couldn't keep employees. You know, the Hindu Horus. She couldn't keep employees because she was such a bitch. The staffers were a revolving door. Like, deal with somebody like that because they're evil and nothing pleases them. They'll berate you, they'll belittle you no matter what you do. It's never good enough. So, you know, she has a revolving door. Jasmine Crockett, same with her. The staffers who served her were not impressed. They said that she was just mean to people. And she demanded a lot of them to, you know, run her personal errands and do her personal things, which, you know, whatever. Every once in a while, hey, can you drop by? I know I got this meeting to go to. Can you drop by and pick up my dry cleaning, whatever? Yeah, no problem. But there's a way to asked people without berating how she handled it. And they're not the only two. There's others who are incorrigible. You can't work for them. You can't be around them because they're absolutely horrifying to work for. Ken Paxton is not that person. He's real mild-mannered. He doesn't freak out. You don't see him screaming and hooping and hollering. He's very even-tempered and very observant. And he has just stayed the course, just rode it out, no matter what the waves were doing, no matter what the storms were doing. He continued to vote for the state of Texas with lawsuits against big tech, against Fortune 500 companies that were abusing Texans. Hold on. Let's see, just for record. Netflix is one of the companies that he sued, saying that the company illegally collected consumer data about children and adults without knowledge or consent. That is against their Fourth Amendment right, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the persons to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. That is the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. And Netflix violated that constitutional right of American citizens. Ken Paxton sued them. That is just one. Apparently, Act Blue. He sued Act Blue over ratchet ass donation practices. He didn't say that, I did. But Act Blue is he sued them, alleging that the major Democrat, and this is the Hill, alleging that the major platform misled Congress and the public about the donation processes. Oh, what he's referring to is the freaking smurfing. He's referring to the smurfing, where the Democrats used people's names like 7 million times and said, oh, this person has donated for this Democrat candidate like 37 times in 1 month. And the person is on a fixed income and can barely survive. How are you donating $1,000 37 times in a month and you driving and living on a fixed income? So Ken Paxton sued Act Blue over their ratchet, evil practices of smurfing And they're under the Department of Justice investigation right now for violating people's civil rights and for these smurfing practices that have resulted in Democrats stealing seats. Period. There's no other way to say that. So over the years, Ken Paxton has worked very hard for the people of the great state of Texas. On his page, what's up, Twiggy? He said, I have to go 30 minutes long. What's up, my love? How are you? Twiggy, always handling business in here. How are you, darling? Happy Tuesday. Yeah, so Ken Paxton getting it done. And he's gotten it done the whole time. Nobody had to ask him to do it. Nobody had to go begging to, could you please look into this? Could you please handle this? Because, these are the people of the great state of Texas. I wouldn't worry if I had it actually worked in my best interest. But this cornball here in Colorado, this Phil Weiser asshole, and that whole office, all they did was protect illegal aliens. All they did was let MS-13 and Tren de Aragua gang members out of jail and gave them like minor slap on the wrist. But Tina Peters, oh my gosh, oh, the criminal of the century, oh, Tina Peters. Know what I'm saying? A 70-year-old Gold Star mother who doesn't have a criminal record, never has so much as a parking ticket. She's the worst thing, worse than these. I told the story earlier in one of my videos about this illegal a few years ago couldn't read, write, or speak English and shouldn't have been driving a giant rig on our roads on I-70 West. If you've ever been on 70 West, you know how bad it gets in the wintertime. When it's snowing up there, it's snow and ice on the ground. You shouldn't even damn be driving, really, honestly. But truckers, they got to get these loads back and forth. So these trucking companies hiring all these illegals for the longest, they're the ones who are suffering right now because they should have been hiring American the whole time. Once the deindustrialization started taking place and they didn't have to hire American citizens no more, they saw all these foreigners coming in here and gave them all these CDL jobs and sent them through like a CDL school for little or nothing, and then got federal kickbacks. Them days is over, bruh. Them days is over. The Supreme Court just ruled now the trucking companies can be sued when their driver causes crashes and kills people on the road. Now the company, the brokers with these trucking companies, their bitch ass can be sued now. Thank you, Supreme Court, that benefit American citizens. Because this is the exact story that I'm talking about. This illegal alien from Mexico, I think he was, had brought, of course, his wife or girlfriend, and they had a kid and blah, 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 and bloody blase. Oh, he's, poor, and he's just trying to support his family, blah, 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 while she's sitting up on Medicaid, and he's collecting money, probably being paid under the damn table. And they're not getting charged all these Medicaid costs and Social Security costs. He ain't getting taxes taken out because he's probably working and getting paid under the damn table by one of these little trucks. Caused a damn 10, 15 car pileup on I-70 West because he couldn't read the signs that are posted in English. So he just kept on down the damn hill with a 6% steep grade, and it was ice and snow on the ground. Your Jake brake don't work in that little bit of time, bro. You don't have a chance to just hit the brake. You gonna jackknife and you gonna cause a crash and kill everybody around you. And that's exactly what happened. It wasn't just the people that he killed. He put a lot of people in the dang on hospital for months for these injuries because they all ran into each other because of him. She came out here like they all, this poor illegal. And I've made reference to that. The governor of this state, don't think he's some kind of hero for granting clemency to Tina Peters. He's not. The same illegal that I'm talking to you about right now, when that shit happened back in 2022, Jared Polis, the squishy governor, came along. The judge gave this dude 110 damn years for killing people on the highway. I don't care if you can't speak English. That's even worse. One big ass 80,000 pound rig, you idiot. Why are you hauling all this stuff across I-70 West when visibility is low? There's ice and snow. Why are you out here? Why are you killing Americans? So Jared Polis took 100 years as the governor, intervened and overruled a judge's decision for somebody who murdered 4 people and sent several other people to the hospital. Tina Peters didn't murder anybody. She did her job as the Mesa County Dam. Yeah. She did the job that she was elected, by the way. She was elected by the people of Mesa County up there in Grand Junction in that area. You know what? I hope when she gets out, so I guess I'm kind of all over the place, but I did say I was going to talk about Tina Peters. But let me wrap that up with Ken Paxton. Ken, God bless you, sir. And we are so proud and so excited for you. Twiggy said that Massey is, Massey's losing over in Kentucky. Good. His bitch ass don't need to win anyway. All this craziness going on surrounding him. But God bless Ken Paxton. He's going to make an excellent senator. And I only wish in Colorado that I had that kind of representation. I don't have any representation. It's over there hanging out with Ken Massey over, and she said that's her friend. She's MAGA still. I'm like, bitch, I don't even want to hear it. I'm so tired of these fake ass fucking politicians. I can't even stand it. I wish I could run. I should have just threw my hat in, but I can't even be a write-in at this point. I think the time has passed. However, Colorado doesn't follow rules, so I should be able to just write myself in on the ballot. Because they do it. It don't matter. They do it. Brandon Gill, awesome. How can she be in prison for being honest? Because this fat, squishy ass Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, knows that Tina Peters she was involved in preserving records. That's what she did. That's what that whole thing was about, preserving records. Because what happened, the Secretary of State was going to go in and do a trusted build, air quotes, trusted build, which means erasing all the information. It wasn't a trusted build. It was a tear down. It was a demolish. Before that could happen, Tina Peters arranged to make copies of the election data. And for that, what they really put her in prison for was impersonating a state officer or some crap, or a state official, impersonating, saying that she was one person or that she was the other person, but it was impersonation. It wasn't even for election crimes, because they know they got no case with that. They know they're guilty as fuck. Brandon Gill too. Awesome. He's going to be president someday. I like Brandon Gill a lot. He's standing up to these Islamicists, and he's not backing down. He's an amazing dude, and he's going to go far. Oh, Shaquisha endorsed Cornine. Of course she did. She did. Why don't she go somewhere and sit down with her dumb ass? Nobody want to hear from Shaquisha no more. Shaquisha Alizé Jenkins. I guess the ghetto routine never helped her win any elections. Now, just remember this. Just remember this. Democrats threw the black female under the bus into moving traffic. They kicked her blurb for a white dude named James Tallarico. Remember that. Remember that. You said crotch itch. Just remember that. Just saying. For the sake of keeping the record straight, Democrats threw away the black woman and instead chose a white dude, since they're so hung up on freaking color, since they always got to make everything about, they threw away the black female for the white dude. Now, I thought they were so freaked out about black folks not having black representation in black districts. Then why did they kick Jasmine Crockett to the curb for James Tallarico? He ain't black. Can you explain that, Democrats? Can you explain why you chose James Tallarico? Because they did. They did. They did. They chose him over her. They're screaming, yeah, you will. Because he supports tranny shit. That's still Texas. That's still Texas. They're not understanding. That's Texas. That's not freaking Colorado. That's Texas. They don't agree with that tranny shit up and down the freaking I-35 interstate. They don't agree with that. Okay? They got Austin, Texas. They ruined Austin, Texas. I swear, I will always say it. When South by Southwest Music Festival came to Austin, it ruined Texas. It ruined Austin. It ruined it. It's like a little Seattle right in the middle of Texas, Central Texas, by the way. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, why didn't Virginia vote for Winsome Sears? She's Jamaican born, but she's, I mean, she's Jamaican, but she has melanin in her skin. She ain't black, but she's got melanin in her skin. See, we're like black folks, FBAs, Foundational Black Americans, are doing this thing called delineation. And delineation is we're separating ourselves from the whole, like, because Democrats want to put you all in the same damn bucket through this thing they call BIPOC. But Jamaicans, when you ask a Jamaican, what is your ethnicity? What do you ask? They will tell you Jamaican. They're not going to say black. because they're not black. They're not black. They're not foundational Black Americans in the truly applicable diaspora. We are the descendants of former freed or slaves became freedmen. So it's different, but I mean, I get it because obviously I'm Black. You know, my family's been here for generations, and I'm not no damn immigrant. I'm not no immigrant. I don't come from immigrants. My mother and my father, they were not immigrants. My grandparents were not immigrants. Like, what? What? My grandfather was Blackfoot Indian. I'm not no immigrant. Excuse you, white liberals. We're all a nation of immigrants. No, I'm not no damn immigrant. I didn't immigrate nowhere. Here. So, God bless you. And I can get a little long-winded and kind of out of pocket, but I mean well. And I'm very passionate about this country. This is my country. My husband fought, bled, and died for this country. He fought in endless fucking wars that these rhinos, the George Bush types, the George H.W. and George W. Bush types kept us in for decades, and then told us to just, figure it out. And then turn around. Obama wouldn't allow me to have my husband's military benefits after throwing him into the meat grinder for your freaking endless fucking wars that President Trump is now trying to end. And you think I'm going to vote for Democrats? You think I'm not going to do everything that God has sent me for to get rid of these spineless ass Republicans that call themselves MAGA? You are not. MAGA is a movement. It is a now movement, and they hate it. They can't stand it. When January 6th happened, these idiots said, oh my gosh. That's why they persecuted people who went to Washington, D.C. on this John so hard, because they wanted to discourage anybody from ever rising up again. But that doesn't work. For a long time, people were out on the down low and kind of just, in the background and trying to blend in with the furniture because of what the Biden administration did to persecute people. But now the president sued the IRS and won, and the settlement money he is putting aside in a fund to help the January 6th political prisoners and victims of the weaponization of government by Joe frickin' Biden and the Hindu Horus, Kamala Harris, and these Democrats are throwing a freaking fit. Excuse me, I remember Kamala Harris posting on X that, during George Floyd, we need to set up a fund. We got a fund going so we can get these innocent people out of jail. What? After destroying federal property, after killing people, raping women, setting things on fire, causing billions of dollars in damage, Kamala Harris set up a fund, or was part of, or at least promoted it on X. But somehow it's MAGA's fault. January 6th was because of what happened on the 3rd of November, 2020. That's why January 6th happened, because you bastards, you stole the election in broad fucking daylight. You stole. And I don't care about somebody, you're an election denier. All you bastards were election deniers in 2016. Wasn't you now? When Trump won in November of 2016, all of y'all denied the election was valid. Every one of you. You can be seen. Matter of fact, Amy Klobuchar, the mushroom head, Amy Klobuchar worked with Mike Lindell. I think it was. They agreed in 2016 that the elections were fake, phony, and false. I like Dave with X22 report says that. I love that phrase. They said that the elections were rigged, and we needed to go to paper ballots, one-day voting, and we needed elections because it's a national security issue. All of a sudden, 2020 happened, and oh my God, it's the most secure election in the history of histories. Bitch, we saw windows being boarded up in Detroit. We saw you. We saw ballots and trash bags full of damn ballots being hauled into rooms to be counted. We saw people standing there running them through 2 or 3 times. One ballot, whoop, one, whoop, one. Set that aside. Okay, give me another one. Oh, one, whoop, one, whoop. We saw it. It's on video. And I'm the election denier because I call bullshit on y'all actually winning in 2020. Yo, dude, yo dude had dementia. You drug him. Get off my lawn. Across the finish line. You drug him across the finish line to believe that I'm wrong for questioning it. Y'all crazy. Y'all crazy as hell. Y'all crazy. Y'all don't gaslight me. I hate that shit, man. You insulting my intelligence, or at least trying. I hate that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know what I saw. Weekend at Bernie's. Bro, y'all drug that dude around for 4 years. Oh, here's did I put this one in here? No, I didn't. And I meant to. Dude, it's just one fraud after another, after another. They never stop with this gaslighting campaign. Do you know, I'm all over the place. I don't care. Work with me, rock with me. Dude, y'all see that shit? Hold on. Oh, it was y'all. Hold on. This dumb bitch. Oh my God. Hold on. I'm going Fox News. I try to do balanced, but whatever. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. We're all over the place. Y'all rock with me. Twiggy, I love that you are engaging. I want to see some other people up there. Where y'all at? Where's everybody at? Throw up some gang signs or something. Say something to a sister up in here. Say something. Everybody, I want you all engaged. Type a thumbs up or something. Let me know you in here. What's up? What's up? I love engaging. That's why I do live streams. Look at this dumb shit. Eric Trump plans to sue Jen Psaki, MSDNC. I'm not calling it MS now because they just think they could change the brand name and get away from all of the lies that they've told for the last 10 years, probably more, but I'm going to say 10 years because that's when Trump went down the escalator on escalator day in June of 2015. I'm not calling them MS now. MSDNC for alleged blatant lies about him joining father's China trip. Oh, I know y'all ain't motherfucking talking about some son joining the father on a China trip. I know Jen Psaki ugly ass ain't talking about that. No good and damn hell well. Please, somebody hold me down. Hold my jewelry. Hold my jewelry. I know for an absolute fact, Jen Psaki is not talking about somebody joining their father on a plane to China. Please tell me that didn't happen. Tell me that funny looking bitch did not say that about Eric Trump, please. Please. Eric Trump said he plans to sue MSDNC and its primetime host Jen Psaki, sue her for herself personally. Don't leave her out, not just the network, sue her personally. I want to see that hoe on food stamps. Here? For what he called, quote, blatant lies she said about him regarding his recent trip to China alongside his father, President Donald Trump, leading to a sharp report from Psaki on her program Friday. She said in a monologue on Wednesday, put a spotlight on the president's adult son joining him despite him not having a government job. Hold on, bitch. I can't. I can't. Hold on. Hold, please. Just saying. Hold on. Oh, really? Let me bring this in. Let me bring this in so we just get this documented here. NBC News. This was the 2nd of October, 2019, headline, Biden's trip to China with son Hunter in 2013 comes under new scrutiny. Oh, does it now? Amid unproven Trump claims. Oh, they're proven. You should read Peter Schweizer's books on the Bidens, for example. His new book is even better. Better yet, if you want to know about the Biden, all of that bullshit, and the things that they did when Joe Biden was just vice president. He was not the president. He was not the president. And Hunter did not have a government job. Okay. All right. Just so we're clear. The overseas trip is generating new attention over Hunter Biden's business dealings. Really? Interesting. Let's just take a look at it. Why don't we?
On the official visit to Beijing, along with Hunter's daughter, Finnegan. Unknown to the press back then, Hunter Biden was forming a Chinese private equity fund.
Oh, really? Do tell.
To raise money, including from Chinese investors. Years later, Hunter Biden acknowledged that during the trip, he met with a Chinese banker, which his spokesperson describes as a social visit, not a business one. 10 days after the Biden's trip, Shanghai authorities issued the fund's business license, something President Trump has seized on as he pushes back against the impeachment inquiry.
When Biden's son walks out of China with $1.5 billion in a fund, and the biggest funds in the world can't get money out of China.
Hello.
And he's there for one quick meeting, and he flies in on Air Force Two. I think that's a horrible thing.
But according to Hunter Biden's spokesperson, the company itself filed its paperwork a month before Air Force Two took off for China. With the fund in the works for months, the company was worth $1.5 billion. Not even close, his spokesperson says. More like just over $4 million, with Hunter Biden putting up 10%. And even that didn't happen until 2017, 4 years after the China visit, since Biden was initially an unpaid board advisor, not a company owner, his spokesperson says. There have been no allegations of corruption or impropriety on the part of the former vice president. NBC's Josh Letterman traveled to China with the Bidens on that 2013 trip.
It didn't strike us as unusual at the time to see Hunter Biden on the trip, but we didn't know that behind the scenes, Hunter Biden was meeting with the Chinese banker that he was starting a private equity fund with.
Biden's 2020 campaign calling the president's claims a dismantled conspiracy theory, adding Donald Trump's degradation of his office speaks to his recognition of what 70 polls have made clear. Joe Biden would beat him like a drum.
Right. I'm not even going to go to the crash out in was it June or July of 2024 when Joe Biden had a freaking lapse of reason and everything else during the debate. Anyway, there's that whole thing. So why is Jen Psaki talking about a son making a trip to China with his father? And mind you, at the time, Joe Biden was VP. He was not the president. And if you watch, I started talking about Peter Schweitzer, who made a documentary called Riding the Dragon. You need to watch it. It's about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And it talks about all of Hunter Biden's business dealings with the Chinese officials and the Chinese government during that time period. The Arabella partners, the Rosatom concerning Russia, or wait a minute, I'm getting mixed up. That was Hillary Clinton. But watch Riding the Dragon. You will be well informed. Peter Schweitzer does such an amazing job putting these things in a perspective and reminding American citizens this isn't normal. Plus, Hunter Biden, I'm sorry, did he register as a foreign agent, like get a FARA license or FARA clearance with the State Department to go over to China with Joe Biden? Why was he making deals with the Chinese companies and the Chinese government? Because when you say a Chinese company in China, they are approved, and the Chinese Communist Party approves these deals personally. You don't come into China and make deals and not deal with the Chinese Communist Party. So let me know what you're talking about there, Jen Psaki. Go ahead and refresh our memory. I hope Eric Trump sues the smirk off of her ugly fucking face. How about that? Oh, Twiggy, I got you. Go watch Peter Schweitzer. I think it's on Prime Video. It will that's the name of it. Peter Schweitzer. It's a documentary. It's 45 minutes to maybe 50 minutes long. It's called Riding the Dragon. It is about Hunter Biden, those transactions that he conducted with Chinese officials. So go watch it. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. I like Peter Schweitzer. He cracks me up. But he also knows a lot, and he's been writing about these ratchet politicians and their corruption for years. He has been he has been really instrumental in educating people. And his most recent book, hold on, I have it. Hold on. Oh, please. These are my two most recent books that I add to my book collection. Peter Schweitzer, The Invisible Coup. Read that. Very, very riveting. Very informative. Highly suggest you read it. The other one I added to my recent collection is Pray by Ian. She is the intellectual that is warning about Ilhan Omar and the Somali pirates, because she is Somali, and she's very candid about why there's so many Somalis here and their plans for America. It's called Pray, Prey. Ayan Hirsi Ali. But definitely go check out Peter Schweitzer. Also, one of his old books that I have is Throw Them All Out. He talks about some of the rhinos that are still in office right now. Very interesting. Now, let's move on to housing affordability and the crisis that the Trump, yes, he is on X. I think it's at Peter Schweitzer. We follow each other on X. He's a great guy. I made a video and he commented on it. I told him how I came across his book in the Boulder bookstore. They act like they didn't want to sell it to me. It's crazy. Absolutely. I got you. The housing affordability. The Democrats have taken this on as their premier, their mantle, their upon which they stand and have moral superiority over Republicans and over MAGA. They're the ones. They're the champions for the people. They're the ones who care most abundantly. Are you really? Because I remember during the Biden administration, 4 years of that, the congressional legislature and the bills that were introduced, and a lot of them passed and were signed by the auto pen, aka Joe Biden. A lot of those aid packages were to benefit Ukraine, which in turn does not benefit me. Nothing, let me just say this very, very, very plainly. Hear me out. Nothing that the Biden administration did for Ukraine helped me, helped you, or any other American citizen. That is just, that was thrown into the wind or flushed down the toilet. None of the Ukraine, all the money, the aid to Ukraine didn't do anything for me, for you, for any of us. Nothing. Yeah, just as I call it, the Ukrainian Laundromat LLC. We didn't see any benefit. All we saw was these Biden officials making announcements on the regular about how money was going to Ukraine for the war. Ukraine. It was just, it was insulting. It was demoralizing, and it was constant. So all of those things worked in conjunction against the citizens of this country, and they're the ones who caused the high interest rates. Look, you can't gaslight anybody with a functioning brain who's an adult who knows even a small piece about the housing market. When Trump was in office 1.0, the interest rates on a 30-year mortgage were somewhere around 2 2 to 2.5%. Period. And that is why so many people are locked into their mortgage rate right now. They ain't going nowhere. Why would they sell their home that they had a 2.75% interest rate to go up to like a 6.5 or 6.75 now? The rate did not climb that high under Trump 2.0. I hate it for you, but it was the Biden years. When Trump left office in January 2021, interest rates were somewhere around 3%, 2.5 to 2.75%. As soon as Joe Biden got in office, everything immediately, it was palpable. Everything immediately became more expensive. The price for fuel was more expensive. Immediately when he got in there, the price of fuel shot to the moon. I remember under President Trump 1.0, I was paying maybe around $2 a gallon. Maybe. If I used fuel points, it was like $1.75 a gallon. So as soon as Biden got in there, the price rise, like immediately. The price for car insurance started going through the roof. You know why? Because Biden started letting in millions of illegal aliens, and they weren't required to have car insurance. Actually, they could not get car insurance because they were a high risk. And insurance companies were not going to play the game and make all these payouts to illegal foreigners who don't have a license and who don't know how. We don't know your driving habits. We don't know what you've done. So we're not insuring all this failure to do so. Oh, he's still losing? Excellent. His opponent is a decorated veteran. I think he was in the Army or Navy. Ed Halloran, I think his name is. He is definitely MAGA, and he is not a rhino. I don't think that he can be bought off like Thomas Massie was. Oh, and he's not a sexual deviant like Thomas Massie allegedly is. Yeah. But the house crisis was brought on by Joe Biden. Period. End of story. The numbers do not lie. People do. These numbers do not lie. You can literally look at OPEC from the trend from 2017 when Trump first got in through 2021. You can see the trend. Look, don't gaslight me. Don't do that. I hate that. Don't do that. The cost for car insurance. Let me reiterate, these illegals, the insurance companies were not willing to take the risk to pay out all of these individuals having all these crashes, and they would just leave the scene because these people were getting all this money from the federal government and then from the state government. They were getting all this welfare money. Why would they care? They're getting thousands of dollars. They got thousands of dollars from the Office of Refugee Resettlement. They got thousands of dollars from these NGOs that are giving them all this money and food stamps every month, $13,000 a month in food stamps. And you just got here? Ugh. So they would just go buy another car. So what? That when they ran into somebody and they'll just leave the scene of the crash and leave. And it don't matter because they didn't have any identifying documentation. no tags, no plates, no insurance, no driver's license, no nothing. So nobody even knew who the car belonged to. Why do you think the insurance rates went up so high over the last 4 years? $62 to $28. So bar one in Kentucky, it was like 62 to 28. So that was pretty much a slaughter. Jeez. Thank you for that update. Oh, I'm sure Massey is not going to win. People are sick of his shit. People are sick of him. People are sick of this bull crap. He just refuses to vote. Look, President Trump has already done all the work. I have said this so many times. It need to be 20 bills a damn week or a day. I don't remember how I said that, but y'all need to be cranking out bills constantly and getting them passed, bringing them to the floor, bring them to cloture, whatever you need to do, dude. Get them done. Get them everything. Trump has already done the hard work. He put out his national strategic plan last November, December. He put out all of his directives. All you got to do is go line by line by line by line by line by line. Just do what the president said. That's all you got to do. He already did the hard work, dog. Y'all ain't got nothing to do but go line by line. Oh, this is President Trump's national security policy. Then this is going to be another bill. We'll introduce it. This one. It's very, he did the work. Y'all have your staffers doing the work. Just have them to create bills based on the president's agenda. Y'all act like you can't even do that. What the hell do we need you for then? Stupid. So the housing affordability, let me stay on that for a second. This has been a problem for a while. That it was not a problem until Joe Biden showed up. The average age for a starter home now is 40 something. When it used to be early 20s, like as soon as you graduate from college, people used to have the ability to buy their first home, and now they can't. So it needs to happen, and what's going to eventually probably happen. I have mentioned this several times before, since Bill Pulte, who is the proprietor of Pulte Homes. They built a lot of homes here in Colorado, for example. They build entire communities. And what needs to happen is meaning the Trump administration, they're going to have to start working with these home builders. You know, Richmond homes, classic homes. These home builders, even the manufactured homes, buy up some land, maybe use BLM land. I don't know what this looks like as far as the land itself, but if these states and these cities will not go along with President Trump's agenda, then use BLM land, dude. But we got to get this economy moving and get young people back into buying homes. The home builders go to the state home builders associations, see who the contractors are. Bill Pulte knows. Bill Pulte has been building homes for years. He is a home builder and contractor. He builds new homes. Have a certain volume goal that you set this at, and build these homes, not just jacking up this high ass price, but focus on volume. Focus on how many homes is directing to be built. They said we're short like 10 million homes. okay, let's just see how many homes are already established and how many homes need to be built in every single state. Don't bother with the blue states. Don't even bother. I need to be an advisor on the President's Council for Housing and Urban Development or something. Somebody need to pass my name along. I need to do, because I see these issues, especially living in this state that has a blue label, but there's a lot of us who are not under the blue umbrella and the blue banner. We're more popular. They're just louder. That's all. Democrats are just louder than we are. We try to maintain decorum, sorry. But they're going to have, they meaning the Trump administration, they're going to have to develop plans. I'm here, I'll help. They're going to have to start developing plans and getting homes built in states that are more business friendly. Colorado is not a business, used to be at one time, but when you have Palantir getting up and walking the hell out of here with a $350 billion market cap for that company, when they get up and leave here overnight, you got a problem. This state has a freaking problem. And it's that state house in Denver, Colorado, with all these crazy, retarded Marxists that have run the state into the ground. And Polis, this squishy cosplay ass governor, signs off on all of it. And come to find out today, Michael Bennet, this so-called senator, was going to, sorry, my Alice, drive me crazy. He was going to come to find out today, he give up his seat. Well, you know, because he thinks he's going to be the governor. He's not. Mushmouth is not going to be the governor, and neither is Mommy Jeans, Phil Weiser. So, come to find out today, Michael Bennet thinks that he's going to win the governor's seat, and he was just going to give his seat to Jared Polis so that Jared Polis could stay in politics in Colorado, even though he's from California. He could not win in a political seat in California. That's what these losers do. They go to what used to be a red state. Colorado used to be a blue. This was like a cow town pretending to be a metropolis. We had the Western National Rodeo event every January. We still have that for the moment. I think Wyoming is going to get it. I think they're in talks, and Wyoming is going to get the event that happens every January. I think it's going to be Wyoming. It's more appropriate. Wyoming is truly a Wild West state. It is run by people who love Jesus and not Marxists. Wyoming is still pretty much uninhabited, thank God, and it's not been overrun with leftists like Colorado has. So Wyoming still has a chance. So anyway, don't bother going to blue states to start this housing development, because a lot of companies are leaving Colorado. So don't even bother. Don't even bother. There are several moving parts with this housing crisis here. Let me show you what has been happening here. Oh, I think I might have just saw it. Companies are leaving Colorado just on a massive scale because it is not a business-friendly state anymore. I know I have it here. Oh, maybe that's it. Let me see if this is it. Oh, here we go. Sorry. According to the Denver Gazette, on 14 of, is this a paywall? Okay, so, all right, there's another one. Sorry. There's another one here that oh, here we go. Oh, this one too, huh? All right, whatever. So the Denver Gazette has paywalls up, but about 3 months ago, business leaders in Colorado came together and said, look, there's a problem here. And it was right after Palantir left. Palantir, by the way, is a large AI company. Let me see if this one was back in December of 2025. One step, God, all these pop-ups. Once a step ahead, Colorado's economy cools, burdened by rising costs and regulations, fiscal Rockies. Yeah. So this fat bonehead, is Jared Polis. Once again, among the nation's fastest growing economies, Colorado today confronts mounting challenges that threaten its momentum. This series reveals how state once defined by prosperity is navigating economic cliffs and ridges. Yeah. So let's see. Warning lights are flashing more at home in Colorado these days as a sharp rise in the cost of living, combined with a legislature eager to regulate industries, is beginning to stall the state's economic engine. Yeah, so it talks about the housing crisis and point to home study, relocation. It talks about how many people are leaving as well. So there's no need to build housing here. It talks about the high cost of living is also driven by the housing crisis, which business leaders and state lawmakers agree is contributing to the economic slowdown. Seeing the problem, Polis pushed the state legislature to act in 2023, 2024, and last year when policymakers adopted several housing laws meant to spur development. It's still not working. The only thing that is being built in mass volume is apartments. Apartments, apartments, apartments everywhere across the Front Range. All you see is apartments. He said, yeah, one of the areas where Colorado is less competitive is housing costs. No shit, fatty. We're still at lower housing costs than other markets like New York and California. So you're comparing yourself to New York and California, the two most expensive markets in the country, and we're number 3. And somehow he's making that some kind of benefit, like, well, at least we're not New York or California. Anyway, this article is, it talks about the regulations. Another significant barrier in the business industry is Colorado's push to regulate. Dead ass. This state has a horrible problem with regulating businesses. From the city and county of Denver to the state legislature, Colorado has steadily climbed the ranks to be one of America's most regulated states, ranking 6th in a 2024 study. That means Colorado is the 6th most regulated state in the nation out of 50 states. We're at the top. So this is Colorado politics. Very interesting article. I'll keep that up for my own reference. But, and yeah, that's another thing is Colorado was one of the states that took in a lot of illegals from 2021 to 2025. We have too many illegals taking up space. Yeah, they're Joe Biden taking in all these individuals and them being, this dumbass governor and these idiot officials, welcome, everybody's welcome. They even started in Colorado what we know as the Office of the New Americans. Yeah, call them Americans. Another issue that is not widely discussed is, for example, the cost of housing. Now, this is Zillow, and this is an area I picked called Lakewood. Lakewood is close to Golden, close to Evergreen, and these are all along the I-70 West corridor. And I picked the Colorado market because I know the Colorado market. Look at these fucking prices. 640, 525 for less than 1,500 square foot house. Whole ass house for 525. So, that's $350, $400 a square foot. $850 for 4-bedroom, 4-bath house. What could be a starter home for a young couple, $630. Yeah. 700,000. 1.395. This is what Colorado is dealing with. This is 495. Yarrow. Oh yeah, that's kind of in the ghetto, but they don't tell you that. This is a studio house. No bedrooms. $649.9. This is a duplex. It's like a townhome type thing. $430 for 3-bed, 3-bath. But do you see these prices? $585, $699, $1.185. I actually toured this house once. It's 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. It's an older house that was built in like 1928. And it's a multi-generational house, which a lot of people are finding very popular. In order to modernize the house, you would need to put about $200,000 to $250,000 into it, because it's a charming house on the inside, very charming, but it's old. And, families don't want to do that. That's where the Trump administration needs to come in conjunction with Scott Turner and the Housing and Urban Development Secretary, and just get together with all of these builders and say, yo, I need y'all to start building, because these people, look at it, $649.9, $694, $599, $845, new, like, if you're just starting out, you're not going to be able to afford this market in places like Lakewood, Colorado, which is a nice area. I will say that. it used to be very highly sought after. It's a nice area. It's very quiet. It got to be a little out of control because a lot of the homeless people hang out there now because of that bus line that goes through Lakewood now. It's off of what's called Colfax. And it's easy for the homeless people to leave downtown and go straight down Colfax and catch the bus. And they go to Lakewood because people hand out more money when they stand there and hold signs that, you know, say various things. Anyway, there's that whole thing. But so what happens is, to stimulate the market, they're going to have, including, as I mentioned, manufactured homes like Clayton homes. It don't have to be trailer looking or whatever. Who cares? If you're a young couple just starting out, you need a starter home. You're either starting a family or you're thinking about starting a family, and you know, you just need to get into a house that's maybe, you know, 300, 350 range. They can build brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes in little plots and neighborhoods, and affordable. And Colorado also has a problem with insurance because of hail. At least they say hail. Twiggy said, where in the hell is everyone? Yeah, dude, yeah, Colorado has problems with insuring. The state legislature had to come up with solutions because these home insurance companies like State Farm, Allstate, they threatened to leave the state for good because Colorado wanted them to come out of all these insurance claims and roofing claims and roofing and siding and different things attached to a home repair and improvement. And Colorado was trying to, because they're greedy and the state is broke, trying to get more and more money out of them. And they're like, forget it, we'll just leave and you won't be able to insure your house. So don't bother with Trump administration. Don't bother with blue states. What's up, Brandon Knight? Welcome. Welcome. How are you? I'm so glad to see you. Don't even bother with blue states. Because like Colorado, apartments. I know like right now, 10, at least 10 in different areas of Colorado along the Front Range. 10, off the top of my head, I can recall 10 of these developers that are building apartments, not homes, not single family homes, apartments. That's huge here in Colorado. I know. Where is everybody? God bless you. I'm so glad you're here, Twiggy. You are right. You are always here. You're so amazing. I just love you. You're amazing. Well, I'll do that more often. Brandon, welcome. Welcome. Post up anytime, darling. Yeah, they are going to have to take drastic measures and ensure that these developers building single family homes, condos, don't even bother. Don't even bother, because the HOAs come in and they make these condos unlivable. We got so many condos on the market in Colorado. It's crazy. All those condos up in the mountains. That's another whole broadcast on all these mountain towns of these developers or these businesses and hedge funds that came in from out of state and bought up all of these properties in these beautiful mountain resort towns during the pandemic. And now they're stuck with them because the city is fighting back against exactly what Trump is fighting against now, which is these hedge funds and in these companies coming in and buying up all these houses and then turning them into rentals. They're not having it up in the mountains no more. They're done. They've had it, because the people who live there can't afford to live there in these mountain towns. They can't afford to live there. So they have to drive an hour, 2 hours away, from 2 hours away, just to be able to have a place where they can come and be your barista, or be your cook, or your chef, your line cook, dishwasher, working at the resorts as ski lift instructor, or ski lift operator, or instructor, or child care, any of these positions. That the people who have been there for a while don't want the workers to live there. It's a strange thing. It's crazy. We'll have to talk about it sometime. Oh, in Texas, by big corporations. Yeah. Yeah, the illegals, of course. They did that here in Colorado. That's why all these apartments are here. And President Trump, thank the Christ, holy God, is getting them up out of here. And now they're stuck with all these apartments. They have slowly started to reduce the price, because they don't have a choice. They do not have a choice. These apartment complexes are sitting like, only 40% occupied. The rest of them, they got these massive housing, like apartment buildings, and they'll have 300 units, and only 75 of them are occupied, because they built we need single family homes. We need home owners, not rentals. There's no more Klaus Schwab. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Siga. We're done with the globalism, bitch. We're done with the globalism. We're done with the WEF. We're done with the freaking all the European unions and all of the NATOs and all the globalists, climate change and all the bull crap. We're done. Oh, Twiggy, they're offering 3 months free. And some of these apartment buildings, they're offering like 90 days free rent, because they're empty. These buildings are sitting mostly empty, because they built them all for all these illegals. And see, they had these plans ready already under Biden. And, they made all these deals thinking that we were just going to have a perpetual flow of all these foreigners. And it's not happening anymore. A Nigerian just bought your dinner. I see we still got a problem with these foreigners. I see we still got kind of a problem with these foreigners. Look at this. Headline: Colorado's cost of living soars, ranks third highest in the nation. This is what dumb Jared Polis was talking about with the affordability crisis. The cost of living in Colorado is continuing to increase, with the state recently ranked as the third most expensive place to live in the country. According to the Colorado Chamber of Commerce, this rise is significantly driven by housing, as Colorado also ranks 48th in nationally for housing affordability. Yeah, I just showed you some of the prices. That was just Lakewood. And let me tell you something else about Lakewood here in a second. The escalating costs are forcing those living in Colorado to make sacrifices in daily spending, impacting everything from groceries to dining out. So when you don't buy groceries because you don't have the money, you don't go to the grocery stores, and these items sit on the shelves. When you don't go to restaurants, The servers aren't making money. The bartenders aren't making money. I see these restaurants and they're empty. Some of these places, it's empty. Empty. The Colorado Chamber of Commerce attributes the climbing costs to rising home prices, higher insurance rates, child care expenses, and inflation. Inflation caused by Joe Biden. Although the state shows improvements in areas such as business, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. Health, that's a lie too. And wellness, you know, they got a bunch of kooks who own offices that they're into this wellness thing out here in Colorado, which is fine, but you know, that's not improving either. Colorado's breathtaking mountain views, which is a lot of the reason why they charge these premium prices, even though you can't get to these mountains but maybe once or twice a year, because I-70 West is always busy and you can't get anywhere fast. So wildlife, urban culture continue to attract people from across the country, which contributes to the affordability challenges. I don't know what you come in here for. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. You're not going to get to go to these mountains very much, and you just going to be struggling. Okay, here's another aspect that I think we need to talk about, which is Pocahontas and her housing bill is already stopping housing developments, House amendments, fix it. This was Washington Examiner, and it talks about the affordability crisis, and the House of Representatives is set to offer a rare exception, a bipartisan bill that brings together Democrats and Republicans around a single goal: reducing housing costs by making it easier to build homes. Yeah, we need, because these homes are not moving. The prices that you saw in what I just showed you in places like Lakewood is these people who occupy and own these homes are old. They're dying off. They're in their 70s and 80s and 90s. They're dying off. They bought these homes 30, 40, 50 years ago. The home has been paid off for years. They're old. They can't get around. They can't get up and down the steps. They kept house. They should have just sold it a long time ago, but they didn't. And now they're stuck. They don't have house payments because they paid it off a long time ago. But these people are elderly. They're going into memory care. Some of them are going to assisted living, but they cannot keep these homes anymore. But see, their kids, they're willing the house, leaving the inheritance to their children. And their realtors are telling them that, you know, oh, your house is worth, you know, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000. But to a young couple just starting out, they're not going to be able to afford your old ass house that needs in updates and repairs because you ain't never done nothing to it. Y'all, the only thing you've done to it is put railings for you not to fall down the stairs, and the funny bathrooms with the crazy enclosed thing for people who are elderly to keep them from falling so they can sit down while they shower. Young people are not going to buy these homes. These areas are nice, but they're elderly. It's 80% elderly people, and they are holding on to these houses, and they're holding on to these high ass prices because they don't want to just give their house away. I get that. At the same time, they're reading the room wrong, and they're expecting the wild, wild west, as I call it, with the housing market that was in 2020 to 2021 roughly 2023, because Biden got handed a thriving economy. So the houses during the pandemic timeframe started selling because people knew that they were going to be working from home. They wanted a nice place to live. They had growing families, whatever. And the houses were going off the shelves. You know, back then, the interest rates were still during the Trump administration and very, very early in Biden administration, but it didn't stay that way because the interest rates immediately started to climb because they immediately started going to Congress and borrowing trillions of dollars from the Fed, which drives interest rates and inflation up. So back to these older people, these elderly people, a lot of these homes that haven't had updates. So you're going to have to put $150,000, $200,000 in it just to bring it up to code, and just to bring it up. Sometimes the wiring is old, electrical wiring is old, you're sinking, you're in a flood zone, problems, your roof is in disrepair, you're going to need a new roof. How you going to get the insurance company to pay for it and you haven't had a recent hailstorm? So it's just all kind of damn problems that have to do with these older homes that these people don't, these sellers don't understand. Nobody's giving you $900,000 for a home that needs another $200,000 just to bring it to modernity. Nobody's doing that, bro. They're going to go to Richmond American homes, classic homes, put them to go to these new home builders, and they're going to see they're offering a 4% interest rate fixed. And nobody has ever lived in that house. Everything's brand new, and I can make updates as I see fit. I'm not buying your old ass house. I'm going over here where there's a whole brand new neighborhood. They just built brand new schools. My kids can have a great place to play. They built new parks. They have a new shopping area. So you can keep your old ass home that you replace on. And what's going to start to happen is they're going to see, all these young people are buying up these brand new homes from these developers, and your house is sitting on the market for a year and a half because you refuse to drop the price. Okay, then nobody's going to buy your old stanky ass house that smells like mothballs and formaldehyde. Ain't nobody gonna buy your old house with your old ghosts roaming around in there. Those are your memories. That's why you want as much as you can for the house. You want top dollar because you still think it's 2021 and somebody's gonna, gonna have 10 offers, all cash, over asking within a week. Yeah, those days are over, bro. The interest rates are 6.5, 6.75%. Anybody gonna give you $900,000 for your old ass, rickety ass house that needs $200,000 worth of work for 6.7? The housing payments are gonna be $5,000 a month. Your house gonna sit there. That's what's gonna happen. So President Trump and the Trump administration are going to start building homes. And back over here to Liz, who is trying to throw in, renting, and she's trying to reopen it and kind of just go supersede the president's very explicit instructions to stop allowing hedge funds and large companies to come in and buy up a bunch of homes and then turn around. And Elizabeth Warren wrote her bill to try to keep the renting side going, and the that was on the Senate side. But now the House is coming in, House Republicans, saying, look, we need to get this done, Pocahontas. Where you're taking too long and you're just trying to drag this out, and you always want to stick your own pork into bills so that you can have your little pet projects, your little socialism and communism programs back off of MAGA programs that are meant to stimulate the housing market for young people. Your old ass has like 5-6 homes that's all paid off, Pocahontas. Go sit down somewhere and drink your damn fire water and leave folk alone. You're done. They're so selfish. They can't even help themselves. They're so selfish. Damn. And okay, let's go away from that because we can continue to talk about the housing affordability and lack thereof. But Tina Peters, before we get off of here, she, as you know, is a Gold Star mother who was accused of being the worst criminal in the history of criminals. And she was thrown into prison for 9 years because the state of Colorado officials that put her in there were hoping that she would just, have a series of unfortunate events in custody. And that did almost happen very recently, like 6 months ago. This dumb bitch, oh yeah, by the way, she got released. The dumb bitch that tried to do something bad to Tina Peters, she got released already. Oh, Ed Halloran won? Excellent. 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 Great job. Great job, Ed. Great job. He's going to do amazing for the state of Kentucky. There's not going to be any more of this rhino shit. The SAVE Act is going to get passed, and all is going to be right with the world. Excellent. Thank you for that update, Twiggy. Little pole dancing there. Mm-hmm. Excellent. So we will see what transpires and develops over the coming days, and leading up to 1 June of 2026. I have said the president has given Jared Polis strict instructions. It better not be a damn hair on her head harmed. And met Tina before. She is very bougie, very bourgeois, as am I. And she loves her hair done. She loves her nails did. She is very bourgeois, which is wonderful because she's a really pretty woman. And the president has, and this is my assessment, he has given that squishy individual very strict instructions. It better not be a hair on her head harmed while she is in there. And she better get out just intact, just like she went in there. So this idiot approached her 6 months ago in like the broom closet or something and tried to do something bad to her. And Tina Peters fought back, thank God. She was protected by holy angels. And this little skank who pulled that stunt, she's already out. They already let her out. This state is wretched. This state is really wretched. But Tina Peters participated in, and she's the only one in the country. Thank God for her, because we would not have proof of the Democrats cheating. That is why the Democrats just freaking out over her being released is more of a story almost than the release itself. Because they really, I like I said, Norm Eisen, Mark Elias, what the fuck are you talking? Why are you chiming in here? All these clowns are just, they're putting out statements. They're talking about, how it's ridiculous. Oh, how it's just the most horrible thing that could ever possibly happen. What? Why are you in our business here? We don't need your input. You don't live here. Shut up. She's getting out. She was wrongfully persecuted by assholes that didn't want her speaking. However, this thing came about with her, the imaging of the machines and having proof of this cheating system and how they've been doing it. Dude, even when Tina Peters is going to, she is a witness to this cheating. So it's like, with everything else that is coming out with Harmy Dillon and the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice, that Georgia, remember they raided the DOJ, raided the Georgia election offices. I don't know if Colorado will be raided. I'm not really sure, but it's going to exhibit, once these investigations are complete, it's going to exhibit such proof that these machines have been messed with to the point that foreign countries have had access to these machines from their foreign country. Be undeniable, bro. Hi, P. I am so glad too, man. It has taken too long. Absolutely, it was too long. Absolutely, she should have never been in there. But like I said, this dumb governor got the phone call. He got the phone call, the one you cannot send a voicemail. He got the phone call. So he has to. He has no choice. He has to release her. And of course, Jared Polis had been protecting Jenna Griswold and Phil Weiser and Chris Beal and these other clowns that have been keeping these dirty secrets for a long time. They know what they did, dude. They know what they did. And the good thing is that it's being demonstrated through investigations of other states. Wisconsin, who is that state? Maryland. They had sent out 500,000 like fraudulent, like the wrong. Oh, whoopsie! We sent out the wrong ballots. Here, we gonna send you 500,000 more. Well, what about the first 500? Are you counting those too? So that's 1 million ballots, probably all for Democrats. They have to send out 500,000 new ballots because they screwed up the first batch. Who is in charge of this? They still have a job? They still have a job after something like that. You don't get to keep your job when you're that incompetent. And let's not forget, here in Colorado, Jenna Griswold was responsible. Her office was responsible for 600 of the BIOS passwords being put in. It's like leaving your all of your personal information on your front porch and everybody can just come by and see it whenever they want. She left those BIOS passwords open for 4 freaking months. The entire time that she was sitting in court persecuting Tina Peters, she had the BIOS passwords to the election data in folders on the internet for everybody to see, have been sitting there open for 4 months. And she still has a job. And the fat bitch is running for higher office. It was right on the website. It was a folder. You could just go click on the folder and see all the, oh, well, what do we have here? I went to the court case. The Colorado Libertarians filed a lawsuit against her, but of course the judge, it's all rigged. The liberal judge, activist Democrat judge, protected Jenna Griswold. So Jenna Griswold investigated herself and determined that she didn't do anything wrong. And how dare you ask? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So now I think what they're going to do is just do the low-hanging fruit first, because the element of surprise worked in Georgia. It was amazing. And also in Arizona. Probably by now, Jenna Griswold in Colorado has just been wiped, bleach bit clean. It's crazy. So Tina Peters is due to be released on 1 June. What's up, Diddy girl? How you doing? And look, now we getting ready to get out of here because we've been on here for a while. We've been on here for a while. How are you, sweetheart? Welcome. Welcome. You said you're late to the party. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been a hoot. It's been a hoot and a right. Yeah, I really honestly hope that Tina Peters leaves Colorado. I hope she leaves. There's nothing for her here. I hope she just like sells her house and leaves and moves to a red state. Wyoming is nice. It's right up the road. It's freedom. Yes, my love, watch on replay because I think I covered some pretty interesting topics. Always appreciate you. You and Twiggy, y'all always in here. You my ride or die. I love you guys. Yeah, I hope she leaves. I hope she, I hope she moves to Florida and, I hope that some of that money that President Trump is setting aside, the $1.7 billion for victims of Biden weaponization. I really hope that some of that money Tina Peters can be able to access to help her rebuild her life. She's going to write books. She's going to do speaking engagements. She's after, other things take place. She's just going to have an amazing life. I really hope she just leaves Colorado. There's nothing here. It's just, if I could, I would. It's just the mountains. Other places have. So yeah. All right. Well, we've been at this for a little while. I appreciate you. I love you guys. I thank you so very much. And just keep praying for our president, our country, each other, and keep your head on a swivel, because these nut jobs are out here and they know that things are changing in ways they never expected. And it's amazing to watch them squirm. I must say, I love you back. We'll be back at this tomorrow. See what happens for WTF Wednesday. Peace, love, and hair grease.